Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And a splendid morning to you. This is Newsline, live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And this morning, our guest will discuss with you the allocation of subjects to the different ministries, and in particular importance a couple of financial matters which threaten to impact on general everyday financial life. And to discuss that is our no stranger to our set, Mr. Pratibha Maheva, attorney at law and former human rights member and an activist now. Very good morning to you, Mr.
Very good morning, Faraz.
Thank you for being on Newsline. Now then, you must have had enough time to study the Gazette of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka.
Definitely.
In terms of the allocation of duties to ministers. Now then, obviously, shall we deal with the most easy option, and that is the allocation of the National Lotteries Board and the Development Lotteries Board to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. What does that mean? Will we see our sweep tickets being sold on the streets of London, New York, Washington, Melbourne, Sydney, Canberra, Auckland, Beijing, New Delhi? Is that right? Is that what's going to happen?
I don't think even in our stock market, I know some experience. Are foreigners investing money in Sri Lanka? That is the question number one. So what is the rationale behind allocating two important projects or even programs or even funds which are coming under Ministry of basically Finance?
Yes.
That is where the leadership of the country. Now, who decide these duties as well as subjects?
Well,
Honorable President. Give me 1 minute.
Yeah.
Honorable President.
Yeah.
So, this is a national government. Even President has no such authority, or he can't use the executive powers.
He can't use it as well as somebody who had his own.
The issue is this.
It's a
Tell
national
me
government.
any country where a foreign minister handling at least superannuation funds, lottery funds, nothing. This is where mix in the system.
A land like no other.
Yeah, I will basically go to another ministry, but I need this type of thing. So therefore, you have to fulfill the demand. I mean, there is no true ministries change. So ministers are basically what they do, they are forcing. So as the country leader, you must say no. Historically, all these were.
But he can't do that, can he? Because he's in a national government.
That's why we are facing a lot of issues in the world.
So then
people are asking questions for us.
Yes. So then perhaps this national government isn't really working.
No. Prime Minister is supreme in this situation.
But he can't be.
Why not?
But he is, but he can't.
Why not?
Because
then
he doesn't have the mandate.
The government will collapse.
But he doesn't have the mandate. He's only the largest party.
He has the largest party. But see, if demands are not... Why this cabinet ministry change delayed up to this much? Bargaining, conciliation, all these things.
Which is a bit like a wholesale market.
Yeah. Now the public outcry was there to remove the Minister of Finance. It was there basically.
Yeah.
Because...
Why was that? What do you think?
Because
what are you hearing?
Innocent people are getting a tax burden. And also a lot of trade unions, even the custom, why they have released a lot of vehicles which are luxury vehicles, which should have been duty imposed.
That's right.
So there are a lot of issues like that. So finally President had to listen to that. I think there is a hotline, no? President can listen to all the phone calls. I don't know whether he's listening or not. But lot of issues are there. But even allocating these subjects for certain ministers, they all went with their demands. So they are so happy. Even the director boards, most of these institutions, normally minister vacate the post, they will also vacate. That is ethical and legal thing. But here, they are fully demanding. So what is the issue? What is the issue? Where is the reconciliation? You are talking about reconciliation in north and east and southern part of the country. But some ministers are fighting, they don't have an office space in World Trade Center.
And whilst they're doing that, the war affected just in certain areas of the war, they need 137,000 houses. These are arguing about 2 office spaces.
I agree.
At the World Trade Center.
Now see, for us, 2.5 years gone. Nothing happened in this country. Another 2.5 years only there from June. Now you think to come for these settlement, it will take another long time implementing these subject allocation.
Do you think that out of the 225 parliamentarians,
yes,
that includes the speaker, doesn't it? Do you think how many of them have gone to the war-affected areas and seen for themselves the level of despair and the lack of opportunity faced by vast tracts of people? How many of them have been to the areas that our Gammadda movement have been to find out how very much the rural part of Sri Lanka is suffering? And some of these areas are not so rural.
Definitely. Before answering that question, flood affected areas.
Yeah.
How many ministers visited? In Matara, several rural areas were there.
That's right.
How many members of parliament visited? That is my question. Mitadamulla incident, after how many days? These ministers, even the minister was not in the country, in the flood situation. So, in such a situation for us, can you assume our parliamentary members or ministers will visit war-affected areas? No. Very minimal number. Because they don't want to see. But they will get the publicity from electronic media, distribution of these things. That's all. So media also must be very careful.
But some of these fellows, and I'm not going to refer to them as honourable because they're anything but honourable. Some of these have even put their photographs, and it's like an advertising on the packing. It's terrible.
Can I say one thing?
Terrible.
According to 2005 Disaster Management Act is there.
Yeah.
How can the government say maximum amount? Section 15(1) say compensation you have to assess. Thereafter the government assesses there. If you are still not satisfied with that, you can go to district courts. But the government put a cap, 25 lakhs maximum. I'm just saying these things. Some of the shops and other things, they very hardly earn that money. So even the minister doesn't know the act, section 15(1). And the other thing is very, very clear. We have seen when distributing this, only the divisional secretariat is powerful. Some of the members of the parliament, basically in the ruling party, they have forcibly taken all these food and other stuff and put to their bags only, put in the sticker. Is that fair? Is that ethical? Where is the code of conduct? Honorable Speaker want to introduce these things. You know how ministers are acting against the journalist. Threats to their life. Even the journalist cannot complain to Kanana police station. He went and complained to Paligoda police station. I'm just asking one thing. Good governance. At least where's the good behavior? You know how to talk to a person, how to talk to a journalist. Even the ministers in the same government criticizing, but no action. This is the biggest problem we are facing. If there is a situation like that, immediately you must conduct the inquiry. No inquiry. Defending. Most of these members are defending that action. So are you expecting free media? Are you expecting good governance? Are you expecting these things? No, encouraging. So other members also may act like that. I am giving only one example.
Yes, I have a SMS from a viewer. Thank you for that. He says here, I have emailed His Holiness Cardinal Malcolm, read the disgraceful incident of John Amaratunga, suggesting he takes notice and advises the heads of government to prevent more ugly happenings by this senile chap and to remove him.
Excellent.
This is a member of the public.
Public voice is that. Behavioral things, code of conduct, values, all undermined today. So therefore, who is powerful? I am not blaming Honorable Minister.
Yeah.
But who is monitoring him? Who is supervising him? The leadership of no action. The party leader is there.
But at 77, and the party leader should really take this chap to task, isn't it?
Definitely.
Because he's bringing, ruining the party.
No, the issue is this: they all depending the vote bank. That's why the Ministry of Foreign Affairs got all these to his package. They all look. Next election is coming after 2.5 years. We can't let them go to the opposition, or we can't let them independent. So we have to protect the, vote bank in central Colombo. So that's why they do like that. So are we actually looking in respectfully the rights of the people, or the rule of law, or even how to behave? The Honorable Speaker, how many times he had advised these parliamentary members to respectfully and also people dignity, but nothing happening. So see, filthy language, ugly language. Can you use that for even for a beggar in the country? You can't, because Right to Information Act is there. What is RTI? What is RTI? All these things are there. Even I'll come to you later. RTI was there to cover up the central bank also. So you can't ask any question. It's very hard to go with the public benefit. I mean, you have to refresh this. You must have certain programs, but for that it will take another 2.5 years. Use the Supreme. Any journalist can go to anywhere. You know what happened in Magampura Hambantota incident. Journalists have the right to access. It's the international law. You can't say he's forcibly came here. No, people need information. That's why we have Right to Information Act. So what is there and what is the action taken by the party leader? That's only I have to question. Even no explanation called, even simple employee done something wrong in the public sector, immediately they call explanation. Nothing. So this is where action or election vote.
Now then, another matter that comes up in the Gazette is the transfer of the non-banking supervision from the central bank to the Ministry of Finance. Now, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing?
I think it's absurd. I can understand the rationale behind it. When the central bank was formed, clear objectives were there. One of the main objectives was non-financial sector finance companies, leasing companies, as well as those who do hire purchase. So they all came under central bank. There was a director for supervising, monitoring all these activities. Why? To safeguard general public, to safeguard innocent depositors, finance. But now what has happened? With the recent allocation of these subjects or duties to ministers, it have been removed. It's clearly said 2 acts: Financial Companies Act number 70 of 1988 and Finance Leasing Act number 56 of 2000. Those were under central bank supervision, because a lot of people invest these places rather than state banks because the interest is very high. Now what happened? Once this has been removed from central bank to Ministry of Finance, who are the people monitoring this? Who are the people supervising this? Are they professionals? Ministry of Finance always, they act sometime in the political motivation. But central bank is not like that. So they always advise general public, advise general public with lot of advertisement not to invest in these places, because they have done a feasibility study, they have all the data. But why they have given? I think to cover up certain things. Now this government came to power to abolish corruption and bribery, but these issues where once again the minister is powerful. So minister can give order, stop investigating these things, this finance company, that finance company. So likewise what is happening today, once again the independent unit in the central bank had been taken. Why they have taken? Because there are a lot of investigation currently going on. There are a lot of cases. Innocent people money. I don't want to name that. That's not good. But I know currently a lot of cases are there. Innocent depositors are crying to save that money. At least central bank was there. But last, no hope for us, because these things once again allocated. Right now the Ministry of Finance, who are professionals, who are experts in this area, how you are going to monitor it, what is the division. So ministries are basically with the minister, deputy minister and other people are there.
State minister.
Now see, in one ministry, the secretary has been appointed, but the new secretary cannot accept the duties. Luckily, he has go to the disaster management meeting, and public servants said he is actually having a backbone. So these are the issues. If you think for 5 years, I'll be the secretary, you can't be removed. But it's not like that.
Now, I'm also told that even though the President has proclaimed through the publication of the Gazette of the secretaries, that some of the secretaries aren't able to take up their position because the minister doesn't want them to start work just yet.
Correct.
That's a bit of a joke, isn't it?
Joke means basically this is a mockery. Why I am saying that? So independency, the leadership, and all these things should come with the president. And president must advise, okay, you have been transferred to another ministry, you can go. Not this time also. I know State Bank chairman was appointed, he was reluctant to go.
Yeah.
So who are powerful basically?
Yeah.
Who are powerful? Basically, that's why I'm telling in this prime minister is so powerful.
And just keeping back with the central bank, we have the papers reporting on the incidents yesterday. The Salon today says that Treasury Bronze probe, the Commission issues 2 special orders that the Governor of the Central Bank ordered to provide the Auditor General with facts that were previously withheld, and the Auditor General to conduct a fresh audit query. And to calculate what happened in the secondary market, if any losses and so on.
That is very important. Secondary market losses, according to the Honorable the Auditor General, he assumed the loss is more than that. Indeed. So you have to assess. But I think lawyers on behalf of former central bank governor was opposed, but even Commission has declared.
Yes,
so that's a good movement.
Yes. That's a good move, but whilst most of the papers are reporting it the way you just said it, we have one newspaper, the Daily News, who's taking a completely opposing view and presenting it as a reprimand of the Auditor General. This kind of journalism is really doesn't really help.
All government voice.
But it doesn't help.
Accept it.
It doesn't help. Does it?
The issue. That is where we need the true facts. At least people of this country must aware you have the RPI. Even if journalists are, giving information like that, so you can question them. So these are all coming under government authorities. Now, so you have that chance. So take that opportunity and ask why misleading information. If this misleading information came in another newspaper, what will happen? What will happen? And that is the end of the journalist, and that is the end of the paper also. But if you have authority, be fair, be justice. When you are disclosing all these news items, people are watching it, people are listening it, it will badly affect your newspaper one day.
Actually, when you mentioned the financial companies, those two, one of our viewers is telling us that the FIU is more important and money laundering has also been transferred, and also he says that we missed the Financial Transactions Reporting Act, which is list all here. So we didn't go through the whole thing.
The whole list.
So the financial, so that too has been. So all these these departments have been run by professionals at the Central Bank are now being transferred to the ministries, where, as we know that ministries are full of political appointees and lackeys.
The ministers end in the list. I don't want to reveal those places. Ministers end in the list, and what happened, the secretary, additional secretary, they have taken from this. Now where is the good governance? Where are the qualifications? Where are the competitive?
Actually, where is the good governance? We want to ask you that.
I really respect former President Ranasinghe Premadasa, because he is the one who introduced for the public sector competitive exam. At least this government, they have declined that.
Now we had a case of a cabinet minister who resigned. And has now been brought back in this reshuffle, and the Prime Minister, who is also the Minister of National Policies and Economic Affairs, has transferred to this Minister of Development Assignment. Very important 3 matters. Employees Trust Fund Act, the Employees Trust Fund Special Provisions Act. Now, both of these have been transferred to this minister who's made a comeback, the very person who resigned because of some sort of conflict of interest previously.
Civil society fully went against that. Honorable President listened to it and transferred. Now, before that, I like to mention one thing. ETF, that is where employees hardly earn money, which was under the central bank as which was under the Ministry of Labour. Now today what has happened? If it was Labour or central bank, doesn't matter. Actually EPF is coming under central bank, so ETF fully came under Ministry of Labour. Now what has happened? So, you know, ETF, they want to invest in certain companies. So that's why they have removed it. So what is the purpose behind this? Whether they are expert in the subject areas, what is the rationale behind that? Now, I request from general public now, ask from the cabinet, ask from the secretary to the cabinet on what basis this had been allocated.
And why have they been moved? Why have these subjects been moved?
Simple answer, to play as they want.
To play as they want.
To play as they want. Simply I will say another 2.5 there to take your harvest. So at least this time what you want, you need your favorites. So all these principles of good governance, all these good practices, all these good values today tarnish within for us 2.5 years. Now I am so sad about the civil society. If that happens, civil society may come out. Those things happened earlier also. When the Attorney General Department was taken to the President Secretary, all people made a big voice. But against these transfers, against these subject allocation, why the so-called civil society is silent? So people also have no trust against the civil society for the common things. They are not coming up. So I thanks to media like this, I thanks to electronic media like this to raise this issue, to educate and aware the general public, because even finally they have the right of vote.
But it's a very sad situation, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But is there anything, what can the people do? You know, when people do, if they do something wrong, the people, there's, you know, you can take them to court. Can the people not, do they not have provision in our laws to take action for inaction?
That is so sad. Writs are there. Yeah. There is a legal writ called mandamus. The public authority, the public duty, if you fail to perform or if you fail to implement, the general public can go against that public authority, municipality council, or even their administrative writs. That's all. Other than that, you can go to Human Rights Commission or Supreme Court if your rights violate. Other than that, inefficiency. I mean, I'll tell one thing.
Yes.
Police inefficiency. You have an independent National Police Commission. What they have done for these 2.5 years. Police is so ineffective. General public go and complain, and they send a lot of petition to National Police Commission.
Yeah.
How many complaints you have actually reviewed or investigated? Nothing for us. Nothing. So why? The most important thing is inefficiency. I have made a complaint, but how long police will take to investigate?
Now,
it's a simple thing. Grassroots matters, I am telling you.
Now then, have you thought of going to court as part of your sort of public interest sort of activism? Have you thought of going to court on any number?
Definitely.
On what do you plan?
Sri Lanka, we don't have public interest litigation like India. I think the new constitution may introduce it. Yes, we have option for that. But before going to court, we should educate, we should have the awareness program, and then we collect the facts and we have to write our fundamental right violation, or basically we can go for a writ, as I said. Those are the options available. But if a poor person want to go to courts, how much he has to pay for lawyers? Lawyers charge very high money for it, more than 500,000 rupees. So these are the realities in Sri Lanka. So therefore, we need a lot of people who love this country, at least to raise their voice and say their objections. And finally, we have to get together to a court case. But what
about Mr. Manamaheva? Now we've heard on this program, the head of the SEC, Mr. Karunaratne, who came on and told us about some files. There's about a dozen files or whatever. And he said 3 months, and he said another 3 months, and then thereafter we haven't heard from him. So in that case, why can't, is there provision in law for a member of the public to take the SEC to court to force them into investigating the pumping and dumping of the stock market, for example?
The issue is this: 1990 Security Exchange Commission Act, where I was a member also those days. There are no provisions. That is the biggest thing. So general public, they can't come for a case. But if I am a person who has invested money in a company, if that affected me, then I can take action.
Right.
That is the only thing here. Now, how many insider dealing cases are there? But when it goes to court, what will happen? This is where investigation is dragging for a long time. You can say, you can finish this within 3 months, but if you take action and find the Attorney General indict, it will take another years and years. In the meantime, you can do many things, because this is not strictly going for policy frame country. This is all people based country. If you wish, you cross to the other side, then you are in safe hand. If you don't like, then immediately the action will take. How many bribery cases have been filed? 2.5 years gone. 2.5 years gone. How many cases filed? Only 4 or 5 cases filed. But how many files are pending? More than 6,000 or 4,000 are pending. So
now then, another viewer. 2 investigations against a duty-free operator was stopped during the watch of the former Minister of Finance. Do you think the new finance minister will give instructions to resume?
Yes, that is a very good suggestion. Now the Minister of Finance, if you are clean, restart, reinvestigate. You can reopen the file. Yes, definitely you can do it. So this is a big challenge for the new minister, as this suggestion, yes, you can start your investigation. But I have my doubts. Who is powerful? That is the only question I have.
Now then, another viewer. Why can't you, Mr. Mana Maheva, form an association for against corrupt actions? Why can't you do that?
That's a very good suggestion. So we are actually conducting some discussions with eminent people, and one day we will come up. So immediately, it may not come up, but near future, definitely we will come with the think tank and moderate ideas.
But now, Mr. Mana Maheva, it's 2.5 years.
Yes.
We've got about 2 minutes left into the program, but 2.5 years later, surely we can't be waiting and waiting. Why can't you organize this over a weekend?
Definitely. Be alone. Rather than fighting alone, we should have a group. So we are actually invited for a group, and we are setting it up for the next program. I'll come with my ideas and suggestions and how we should move. It should be a people activity. So we have to go for a people movement.
But we need action.
Definitely. Action.
The people, the viewers are asking for action.
Definitely.
And would you agree that this presidential inquiry against into the issuance of the bonds, to look into that, that is a good? Does it augur well for us?
I don't think. The first day.
Are you skeptical?
Skeptical is this.
Why?
Because finally no action they can take.
But that's your speculating.
So this is only showing general public this has been happened, but he has been removed. Even his companies, his relations companies, have you put restriction for that? No, those are really functioning. So this is where once again a political rift, I think the two leaders are looking.
But of course they have they have complained and they lost that the central bank was trying to manage.
Yeah, it's saying in today's papers.
Yes, so that has been lost, and so it does augur well. Pratibha Mana Maheva, we appreciate you coming here and talking about this, dissecting the Gazette notification on the allocation. But we must be mindful, isn't it? Because certain of these functions, very serious matters, have been moved to the ministry, where we are not entirely certain that they will have professionals looking at it.
So you can see once again how these political oriented motivations are coming up. Even we blame the previous regime, the same thing is going to happen.
Same thing.
Yeah, that's why a senior minister said, I don't see any difference between these two systems.
Well, Pratibha Manamheva, thank you very much for being on Newsline. We appreciate your presence. And that's it from Newsline today, Wednesday, the 14th of June, 2017. Take care. God bless.